evening and welcome to the Tuesday, June 9th, 2026 meeting of the Ayer Planning Board. This meeting hearing of the Ayer Planning Board will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation via Zoom is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting/hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in a specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may access the proceedings by joining Zoom meeting ID 978-772-8220 or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Danny Ruiz, Town Planner, at druiz@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220 extension 144 prior to the meeting. First item is the agenda, and I would like to make an amendment with your approval to include under meeting minute approval the May 5th, 26 meeting minutes.
Seconded.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Ken?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
And the chair votes aye. Agenda's approved. Board reorganization, as we left it last time, we have a chair and a vice chair, right?
Yes,
Do we have a clerk?
that is the last position that we need.
If you will accept me, I will put my name in for clerk. And I appreciate the time to think about it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you taking the role.
I nominate Julie.
The only other question is Peter, I have a question for you. I know you're interested in housing.
Yes.
And I'm currently the representative for the Air Housing
We'll
Trust.
deal with that in July.
We'll do that in July?
Yep.
Just have it in the back of your head if you're interested. You're not obligated, but I know you're interested in housing. If that interests you, just let us know.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You always stuck under the.
All right, so now we need a vote for,
Yeah, so Dave.
David made a motion. We have a second?
I second.
Second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Ken?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
And does Julie get the vote on her own position? Of course she does. Julie?
Sure.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you. We have a clerk.
Before we get too far, so with meeting minutes going forward, as you know, Heather will not be doing our meeting minutes after the last meeting in June. So going forward in July, we will be using a program called Clerk's Minutes. And so what I need from every board member is when you are speaking, speak clearly into the mic and make sure we're not speaking over each other. Because when I know, but it'll take practice, but what I need is, because when I upload the YouTube video, it picks up the distinct voices. Sometimes it mixes if you guys are speaking over each other and it can't tell who it is. So if we can just try to not talk over each other and speak up, into the mic, that would help me a lot.
So I am going to have to ask if we're practicing that. James, I hope you're listening. There's a conflicting need there that sometimes we've blown various ears out when
Okay.
we speak into these mics.
Okay.
So James, you can text me during the meeting and I will just note who we need to maybe not be as excited about the new rule.
Perfect.
And I just remind everybody that the minutes aren't a transcription of the meeting. So
No, so the way the program works, just so that you know, the way the program works is it creates, I have it up on the board, just so the board, it creates a transcription, and then from that, it creates minutes from the transcription. So it takes the information from the transcription, depending on how long we want the meeting minutes and how full we want them, it takes from there. So that's why I want to make sure.
I do a lot of mapping to all the votes, which is the important thing.
Yes, so it does the votes, but right now I have Heather's also going to be taking the minutes just so that I can test both at the same time to make sure that it's doing what it should be doing. So we've done it for the last meeting minutes, for the last meeting. Heather's also going to be doing for this meeting, and we'll do it for this.
So we're doing it right.
Yes.
Thank you.
great. Now we have the public hearings, and I believe all three are open.
Yes.
So we can move right into the Park Street Ayer Family Pharmacy. I don't believe we have
Yes.
We
Yep.
do. Oh, great. We do. Fantastic.
Same guy.
And I just want to explain to the public this evening, if it seems a bit abrupt as we go into the approval, that's because we've had extensive deliberations in the previous two meetings. So if you're coming to this for the first time and you're concerned about the level of deliberation, I would encourage you to check out the videos and meeting minutes from the previous 2 meetings. Danny, you want to tell us where we are and where we can begin?
Yes. So at the last meeting, we continued so that we could finalize a draft or get a draft version of the decision. That was sent over to the applicant. It was also sent out to the department heads for comments. We received one special condition from the police department, and the applicant had a change about one of the about the spelling of the last name of the owner.
Okay.
So that was done. And one other question was, technically, in the way our conditions read is it says prior to issuance of a building permit. This project doesn't have a building permit, so these are kind of just more general conditions that just kind of carry over. There is no building permit for this actual project.
Right.
There will be most likely DPW permits. That's where most likely that kind of portion will trigger. If you have anything that kind of would trigger a building permit, we're going to apply that to whatever DPW permits you would need.
Great. Okay, great. Should we start with the waiver requests?
Yeah, so we can start with the, why don't we start with the finding, and then we'll go to the waivers.
So the findings are simple. There are only 2. The first one is that the site plan contains a design that has provided the foundation for the Ayer Planning Board to determine that the requirements, standards, and guidelines of the Town of Ayer Site Plan Regulations, subsection 320-3.5.4 of the Ayer zoning bylaws have been met in a satisfactory manner. And the second one is that the project consists of parcel ID 26-102, 103, 104, with the 15 Park Street being the location the proposed parking lot is located on. This parcel consists of 5,077 square feet and is currently a paved empty lot. The existing paving will be removed and a new parking lot will be constructed. So we have, I think, 4 waiver requests or 3? 3?
1, 2,
4.
3, 4.
Okay. Read these into the record. So this first one's going to be a little long. Ask you to bear with me. So the first waiver request regards section 9.1.5.b, section 1. For parking areas containing fewer than 5 spaces, the minimum width of access drive shall be 10 feet wide for one-way use and 18 feet wide for two-way use. For facilities containing 5 or more spaces, the minimum width of access drive shall be 12 feet for one-way use and 20 feet for two-way use, and the maximum width shall be 16 feet for one-way use and 24 feet for two-way use. The maximum width of such driveways at the property line shall be 24 feet. The minimum curb radius shall be 15 feet. The planning board may approve a modification of these width and radius requirements to facilitate traffic flow and safety, or to accommodate the unique needs of individual facilities that require wider access drives.
Industrial facilities.
Oh, what did I say? Unique needs of industrial facilities that require wider access drives. Each lot may have one access driveway through its frontage. One additional access driveway for one-way traffic may be provided for each 200 feet of frontage, and all such additional access driveways shall be at least 200 feet apart, measured from the center line of each access driveway. Within the FBC Form-Based Code District, refer to external elements in building development standards. So the justification for the request is as follows. The proposed parking lot can only be the sidewalk's width from the existing road, and so a reduced curb radius was proposed and subsequently endorsed by the town engineer. Colleagues.
So the request is
Specifically for the minimum.
The minimum curb radius shall be 15 feet.
Correct.
Thank you.
That's right.
Or the waiver request, I should say.
Yeah.
So that's the part that's most germane.
Yes.
Any further questions or comments regarding this waiver request? May I have a motion to accept the waiver?
I'll make a motion that the Air Planning Board issue a waiver for the Park Street project, which is 713 and 15 Park Street, for a waiver from section 9.1.5.b, section 1, the minimum curb radius shall be 15 feet.
Great. Do I have thank you, Peter. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Ken?
Aye.
Peter? Aye. David?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
The chair votes aye. The waiver is granted. Second waiver request is for section 9.1.5C2. Except for parking within an enclosed structure, for example, a parking garage, or for existing multifamily dwellings, no parking space shall be located within 8 feet of a building wall or 10 feet of a lot line. No access aisle, entrance, or exit driveway shall be located within 5 feet of a building. Loading docks are exempt from this requirement. And the justification for the request is, due to the unique size and shape of the lot, one of the parking spaces is 6.5 feet from the parking garage to the east and will also be 1.8 feet from the property line. Comments, questions?
Danny, just for the public's purposes, can you just let everybody know that these waivers are all in section 9, basically? Which
Yes.
is the parking.
Yeah, this comes from section 9 point, these are all from section 9.1. These are just our requirements from within our parking and loading section.
Okay, thanks.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the waiver request for section 9.1.5.c2.
Second.
Any further discussion? Ken?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. That one, the waiver is approved. Third waiver is for section 9.1.6.A1. Parking facilities with more than 5 parking spaces shall be boarded on all sides except for required access drives with a landscape buffer of sufficient density and height to provide effective screening for parked vehicles. The width of the landscape buffer may vary based on site conditions, abutting uses, and the view from the road, as long as the average width of the buffer on all sides of the lot is at least 10 feet, except that in the healthcare services district. Portions of the perimeter of the district located within 50 feet of any parking area constructed after the effective date of this bylaw shall be landscaped with medium-height shrubs so as to achieve effective screening and buffering as determined by the planning board. Where adjacent parcels agree to share a common parking area under subsection 9.1.5D above, the planning board may approve eliminating the minimum buffer on all common property lines. The justification for the waiver is, given the constraints of the property, this proposal cannot provide this buffer on all sides, but southerly end of the property will be landscaped with various trees and shrubs as well as a proposed picnic table. Comments or questions from my colleagues?
So, should we put the plan back up just to take a quick look at it? Thank you.
Specifically talking about down here. There is some landscaping here, here, and here as well, but there is no landscaping on all sides.
Yeah, can't be done. Right.
Now, just for clarification, if it's not, those we're showing plants and shrubs there. The balance of that will be loam and seed with some lawn?
Yes.
Or what is,
Yeah,
is that
some sort of a
detailed
lawn.
what the lawn is?
Yep.
It is?
Loam and seed with lawn, yeah.
Okay. And that section to the left there that goes in, it's like a walkway going into the stairs of the building, that piece right there? Paved walkway, maybe?
Yeah.
It's existing now.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
okay.
There's an existing one right here.
So we
This is
talked
just
about
gonna
this
tie
at the meeting, that the proximity to the sidewalk just didn't give us a chance to put any landscaping on that side. I'm just
Exactly.
reviewing it for, but you can see that there is landscaping basically on at least 2 sides of the parking lot, the best I
Right.
could do.
Good. I'll take a motion.
I will make a motion to approve the waiver for the Ayer planning, the Ayer family pharmacy for, let me see, what are we at?
Section 9.
9.1.6A1.
Thank you, David.
You're so welcome.
Do I have a second?
Seconded.
We have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Ken?
Yes.
Peter?
Aye.
David?
Yes.
And Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye, that waiver is approved. The fourth and final waiver request is for section 9.1.7.C2. A continuous landscape strip not less than 4 feet wide shall be located between the sidewalk and the right-of-way line of the street in order to create a sense of enclosure for pedestrians. The planning board may approve a reduction in width of the landscape strip in order to accommodate both a wide sidewalk and landscaping within the front yard setback, with the exception of the downtown Ayer Park Street Form-Based Code District. The justification is the proposed sidewalk is directly adjoining Park Street. Questions, comments?
My only comment is that it's interesting that there's an exception for, this is in the form-based code, right, district. So the typical exception would be if a building were close to the front lot line.
Mhm.
We can apply it here, basically.
Yeah.
Because of the same, well, we have the same situation,
Yep. Exactly.
as we just talked about in the one before.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the waiver request from section 9.1.7.C2.
Second?
Any further discussion? Ken?
Yes.
Peter?
Aye.
David?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye, the waiver is approved. Now, we did the findings, we did the waivers. Now I think it's time for the motion, and
Let's go through the special condition.
there's just one special, so as usual, we have the 36 general conditions that apply to almost all site plans. And the one special condition, I think, what is that, page 6?
Page
8, sorry, page 8. It reads, it's very simple. Police traffic control will be required if construction will be impeding vehicular or pedestrian flow. That's it. Questions? All right. May I move into the motion? Okay.
Your motion is at.
I'm reading, yep. Motion, I'd like to make a motion for approval of the site plan pursuant to subsection 320-3.5 site plan review of air zoning bylaws, subject to the standard conditions 1 through 36, and the special condition numbered 1 in this decision.
Mr. Chair,
Second.
Yes, Pauline?
Wait a minute. Oh,
I'm sorry, I put my hand up a couple of motions before. I just wanted to point out that I have no idea what Ken was mentioning when he was looking towards the monitor on the wall. So that, and I apologize because I know this is something new for you, but he wasn't facing the mic, so nothing was picked up. I have no idea what he said. I have no objection. I'm not taking a stand on this, but I just wanted to point out that you really ought to need to pay attention to the mics if you're going to go with this automatic transcription thing.
It's a different mic, Pauline, so we have two competing interests, and thank you for bringing that to our attention. I'm sorry to cut in, Mr. Chair.
It's okay.
No, thank you, Julie. I understand that.
Okay,
But nothing that Ken said as he was facing the wall was recorded, at least audio recorded.
She
okay.
means she couldn't hear it on Zoom.
Yeah. So just let's just make sure we're speaking towards the mic. That's all.
Okay.
Thank you. Carry on. Sorry for the
And the
interruption.
Zoom mic is this one right here in the middle, right?
Correct.
And up above, okay.
Yes.
Did we got a second? I forget, we got a motion and a
There
second?
was a motion.
And then Ken seconded, right?
Yes.
Ken seconded.
All right, any further discussion on the motion for site plan approval? Hearing none, Ken?
Yes.
Peter?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye, the site plan is approved. Congratulations,
Thank you very much.
appreciate it.
Motion to close.
Now, I'd like to make a motion to close the site plan hearing for 7-3 and 15 Park Street Air Pharmacy.
7:13 and 15.
Yeah, 7-13 and 15 Park Street.
And just as a clarifying note, it's only you, Ken, and Julie who are voting on this one. You guys voted yes, but your votes are not on this one. Sorry.
Oh, I apologize.
No, that's okay.
My error.
It's good
That's okay.
good
I didn't.
practice.
Yeah, good practice. I didn't remind you.
Okay.
But the motion does pass. 3-0.
Okay, so,
Okay.
did I just make a motion to close it? Did I
Yes, you
make?
did.
I did. Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Is that for all 5 of us or just the 3 of us? Ken?
Yes, to close.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes yes to close. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Next item up is 20 Groton Harvard Road. You again!
Yes, yeah. Can't get rid of me.
So, we've had significant deliberations and, importantly, a site visit last week. So I'm going to let Danny take it from here. And where should we start in this discussion?
Yes.
Why don't we get introductions from
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. And remind if you reintroduce yourself and introduce yourself, sir.
Sure. Yes, Brandon Ducharme with David E. Ross.
Thank you.
Conrad Donnell, owner.
Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. So on last Monday, the board had a site walk with the applicant and the owner. And from that, first I want to have Heather come up and just kind of give us a quick synopsis as to what happened at the site walk, and then we're going to get into a couple of things that came up during the site walk.
So you want me to give an update on the same one?
Yeah.
So all 5 board members and myself, along with Mr. Ducharme and Mr. Donnell, were on site to review the site. Went over the building locations, the location of the stormwater system, and I believe the reference to the retaining wall on the budding property side. Those items were all looked at, and there was, I think, some extensive conversations back and forth in regards to tree and vegetation removal on site.
Good.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's a good
Okay.
summary. Thank you.
So as part of that, I actually had some questions that when I spoke with Brandon about. Specifically, for me, they came up regarding the line between the Bashara property and the Donnell property. Let me just pull up the plan. Okay. Yes, so it's specifically this part of the property. And in discussion with Brandon, I asked him if I know that there is some there are some larger, more mature trees along that property line, and that there's some more understory shrubbery that's kind of growing in. I had asked him if they could look at potentially saving as many of the larger mature trees as possible, and then anything that can't be saved, supplement with trees after, to plant those to create some of a buffer. The biggest thing for me is to try to keep that existing buffer that's there for the neighbors that are behind them. And one of the things I suggested would be, as a special condition, we could put in that Heather and I would walk the line after the erosion controls were put in, or prior to them. We could kind of figure out exactly when, and see what can and cannot be saved. And then at a later date, once the project is further along, when they install landscaping along the northern side of the property, then they could also supplement within there. But that was something that I brought to Brandon. So just wanted the board to know about that one.
What was Brandon?
I was just going to say, in the applicant's response, is this amenable to you?
We have a response. I think we all have a response.
Yeah, so
Okay.
in terms of, I went and looked at it again after we spoke, and specifically as you kind of, considering that's a rear property line, as you get further up the page, there's a line of, I would say probably 6-inch white pine trees they're growing about 2 feet in from the line. And just given the nature that most of that area at the top of the hill is open, a lot of the vegetation is creeping in towards it. So really what I was looking at was we have the building staked. So if you kind of stand right along the face of what would be the rear of the building and look up, a number of those branches are kind of creeping up into that footprint. But I think, and again, a good suggestion to kind of walk it and look at beforehand, but even if we were to limb some of those, the hopes that it would continue to fill back in, and then supplement lower evergreen plantings to kind of fill in that solid buffer line. Yeah, that was my thought. But again, no problem.
Ken?
I just want to let you know that we looked at that fence line very closely ourselves. All of us looked at it with the intent to try to save any tree we could save. And it didn't appear obvious to me that anything could be saved. That's how close, though, how big those trees are coming over the building. So I like the idea of you double checking everything like that, but it was not evident to us that anything could be saved on the entire site. We looked all around the sides, up and down the slopes, big trees everywhere that unfortunately might have to go. The other thing that was very interesting was we looked full edge and didn't find a thing. The soil seemed to be great. So
Yeah.
that was surprising to all of us. And we took a pretty good close look at everything. Met both, one neighbor just called across to us and said hi. The other neighbor on the north, he
Yep.
came out, talked about the trees on his line,
Mhm.
you know. Important it was to him for those trees to be taken down,
Yes. Yeah. Those are those are the larger ones along the stone wall.
right on stone.
And I believe the roots are breaking
It's-
basically the
it's a lot.
wall that's there, right?
So- I think we all agree to take another look at it, but
So, am I stepping on you, or are you
No,
good? So I think that what Ken said, that seemed to be my observation too, that realistically, given the tightness of the site, that saving trees is going to be very difficult. So with that in mind, then, I think that when we think about appropriate screening for the neighbors, we're really talking about post-construction screening as the most likely outcome. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's just tough.
Yep.
It's-
I just want to. I have to put my.
I understand
No,
how
you
you
do.
do.
wanna see-
No,
we
it
wanna
I just want to make sure
absolutely.
it was
we
considered.
want to see it.
Yeah, yep, you definitely right to do that.
The fact that they had the perimeter of the building staked was very helpful.
Yeah.
Turns out 25 feet is an extremely short distance.
It
It's
is.
not even a long putt for me. So, turns out, when you see 25 feet and you see the fence that's there,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
kind of connects.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see as many trees saved as we can, but just to kind of echo, and I also think once you start clearing out a lot of those bushes and brush, just the trees standing won't give much privacy anyway, because although they're aged, they're not really thick trunks, and I think, again, post-site, I think would be the best course for kind of that buffer for privacy.
What else, sir?
So from the in terms of the retaining wall for that now what was the decision on how you guys want to handle that retaining wall? I know there's discussion about that retaining wall's not in the best condition. Are you going to remove it? Is it going to stay?
Yeah, so, I mean, one of the things, I think a lot of that is going to have to be worked through with the abutter. But
Correct.
you know, what we had mentioned, because essentially the wall is on both properties. It's
Yeah.
right along the line.
Yep.
But we are in a cut slope there, so if it was an agreement with the abutter, we could certainly lower that grade, continue to lower that grade. There's nothing preventing us to reduce or possibly eliminate the need for that wall.
Mm. And so my suggestion would be to see if you can approach the Vogels and start that discussion, because I would like to, if that's the route that we're going in, I'd like to have that, put into the decision, just to have it kind of laid out there. What I don't want to do is kind of us going into construction and not knowing whether or not that retaining wall is coming down, or you're going to be grading onto their property and we don't know it. So if you could approach, I believe his name is Justin, talk to them and see if you could start the process of that.
Yeah, I think I'm remembering this right, but I believe he was pretty amenable to
Yeah, I do.
pretty much. I don't think he was even sold on the retaining wall. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think he was even married to that idea. I think he was okay with grading that out. So I think
I remember him saying that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Peter.
I think one of the biggest concerns on the retaining wall, as soon as you try to take the stumps out for those trees,
Oh, they're gonna
the
fall
thing's
apart.
gone.
It's
We all
gonna
know
go.
that.
And that's why I want to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
Because what I don't want to end up is then you're going to have to slow down at that point and then start dealing with a easement versus, construction, some sort of like, I don't want you to have to slow down during construction. Like, that's why I want to start want you to start the discussion now.
Sure, no, valid point, yeah.
I think that was it Actually, there was one other one
Wait a
that
minute, I got an idea. So would it make sense to put on the plan for the decision that, to the best of our knowledge, the retaining wall will be, what's your note say now? Will be repaired or just existing? All it says is existing retaining wall.
Yeah,
right?
there's
It's all
no notes.
existing, and really, prior to that first meeting, I wasn't even aware that it was in disrepair,
Yeah.
until that was pointed out.
Yeah, so that's why I want for the next meeting when we have the actual decision.
Yep,
That way we, hopefully the discussion has already occurred, and by that time maybe Justin has verbally said, "I'm on board with it,"
yep.
and then I can have at least craft a special condition somehow into the decision that at least puts that into writing. It might not be very specific,
Yep.
but it'll at least put that into the decision.
Great.
My thought was that potentially they would agree to repair the existing retaining wall and part of the decision. Then that would be what they're trying to do. Then if it worked out, the grade worked out better in the field, or if something came up later, they could meet with you and the neighbor at that point. But at least we'd know the retaining wall is gonna be put back in a condition that's acceptable
The only problem with that is,
versus grading it, because then you're definitely gonna be in the other guy's land.
well, that's the thing. What I don't want to say is, they're going to repair the retaining wall, and then it says that they have to, just because it can't be repaired, they have to grade it. So the way I would craft it would be not very specific as to what way it's going to be dealt with, but
Okay.
I would
It's gotta
write it
be
in a
dealt
way that
with.
it's going to be dealt with between the two parties.
Okay,
And kind of leave it as very general so that whatever direction they choose to go in, the special condition doesn't slow them down. I don't want to have them have to come back in to amend the special
I got it,
condition.
yep. Okay, you good with setting up something and talking to the neighbor? I mean,
Yeah, he seemed like a nice guy, he seemed to be
Yeah.
open to.
okay,
Definitely.
His idea was he knew when that stump was gonna get pulled,
yeah,
it's gonna demolish the whole wall.
Yeah.
So he's the one who recommended grading it down to the property line,
okay.
which I think would be the best way and the easiest way to go and it appease him, so.
Okay.
Right, so you guys will meet internally.
Yeah. So
And
what
the language figured out.
I'll have something crafted in
Okay.
very general terms, and when I send the decision over, once we get to that point, I can send it over to them, and they can, let me know if they have any comments on it.
Okay, thanks.
It looks to me that the applicant has addressed all the department head comments except,
Yes.
I was getting there. There seem to be two that are open. It's the traffic study and the photometric. So I thought, can we resolve that? I'm hoping we can resolve that this evening. Should we start with the traffic study issue?
Yeah. Why don't we?
And I'd like to invite Chief Gill to come up to the table. And Matt, you're here right on, oh, Dan's here. Okay, Matt and Dan are here. Excellent, excellent. So can you frame the issue for us, Danny?
Yes. So we typically, there's a requirement for a traffic study, and most projects will request a waiver because they don't trigger the, a threshold that the town departments feel that is necessary. In this occasion, there is it's a little bit more of a tougher situation. The proximity to Central and the intersection there, I know there has been quite a few accidents in that area, but I think I will turn this over to the chief and let him kind of just speak about this on.
Sure.
If you can bring it up.
Yep.
Yeah, it's probably easier if I point out on a map. And that'll be either anything that shows the driveway compared to the intersection.
Okay, so you've got to bring it down a bit.
So you mentioned the accidents. Well, we haven't had an accident there since we brought in the four-way stop sign.
Yay.
Which
That's
is
good.
We haven't had one, so we're very proud of that. So what that entails is all the traffic stopping at all four intersections. And there are periods of time when we have multiple cars backed up waiting for their turn to turn in.
True.
What my concern is if we do have that backup here, and we have cars trying to turn in, and if it happens to be one of these cars that are trying to access the driveway, are we going to be creating some sort of a gridlock situation? So I don't, I couldn't find what what we have for measurements that go from the center of the driveway to the stop line here and try to guess how many vehicles, basing it on a 12.
The queue line.
Yeah, so, basing it on a 12-foot, profile of a car, of the, an average car. And then, trucks are a little bigger. So how many queues do we have available to us for that? And then, and that could, snowball. We also have on the other side, it's not part of this, but we experience the same thing when there's a train.
Yes.
So if there's a train here, we have cars backing up on all sections. So I just want to be mindful that we're not going to be exasperating any type of gridlock to that drive, to anybody trying to turn in that driveway.
All right.
And that's the reason for the, we don't know what the traffic is out there. We haven't done a queuing in study for this. I don't think we have. Dan may be able to comment a little bit more on that, but I don't think we have. But that's my overall concern with traffic. That's it. I do have a couple others after we talk about this.
Okay. So
on this one, Matt, I believe you had told me that there was a study that was done in this area.
Yes, that's right. The last study the town did was just before COVID. So it's fairly recent, but not, I guess not extremely recent information.
So
in terms of queuing, so that's kind of the big question. So yeah, I just, from my experience, I guess I'm trying to remember precisely what the study said in terms of queuing on that approach. I don't remember what that queue length was off the top of my head, but from experience, having driven through this area, it can definitely back up. So I do understand the chief's point on this. My comment too on just traffic study in general, so I know this is a tricky intersection. I don't know how much good information we'd really get from a traffic study just relative to the one that was done not so long ago. That was my big comment, just with this being a 9-unit project as opposed to a commercial or some other major development. I think it would be helpful. I mean, obviously the more information the better, but I just don't really know how much value we would get, just from my opinion.
So I guess the question comes down to the queuing length then.
exactly, and the queuing length really has nothing to do with the number of units. It could be 1 unit, it'd still be a queue issue. So it has nothing to do really with the number of units. It really has to do with just the location of the driveway to the intersection is the real issue. So my question is, how do we get information or data that can resolve the queuing issue?
I believe the best way we could do it is if you could create a plan just kind of showing, just where the stop line is and how many cars it could queue before the driveway gets blocked. Would that provide you the answer you would need?
Part of it.
Okay.
So it would give us the kind of like how much of a queue is available.
Right.
But then we would actually have to find out probably what the traffic behavior is there.
Mm-hmm.
There has been a change, as Matt said, that this was prior to COVID, which would be prior to the four-way intersection being enacted. So there is a different traffic pattern there. And it could, I just don't want that intersection to be, we've just fixed it, and I don't want to do anything to undo that. If there's a way we can mitigate it at this level, like, is there anything else that we can do? So, but it may not be an issue, but we don't know.
How do we get to know it? No, seriously, I'm not trying to be funny.
So,
Yeah.
I guess like the chief stated, a study is the only way you get that answer.
And it may not have to be a full-blown study. I don't know if there's a way you can just study, if there's a Q study of that, particular intersection or that, approach to the intersection. I'll leave that up to the engineers.
Mm-hmm.
Is that possible, a partial traffic study that isn't full-blown, or no?
Well, the study you're talking
In
about.
my
is
experience,
one vote.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I've never had a project, a traffic study that's been done that's only looked at one intersection.
Yeah.
Typically, traffic study is more extensive than that. But, yeah, I really don't know how to answer that one.
And maybe it's a traffic study we have to do. We have to know what the queue length is, and and then what does the traffic study say about that?
Well, what we're talking about here is the potential, typically when you do a traffic study, we're trying to find the impact of the development on the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
We're not really talking about that now. We're talking about an existing pattern that's there. But
The
The
project,
development-
but the development will be impacted, and the development
impact.
will impact the intersection. So, in our typical in the typical way we typically see it is the amount of car trips would affect
Generally.
the intersection. That's generally because we think there's going to be a larger impact because
Correct.
of the amount of traffic. This is just because of the proximity to the intersection and the how busy of an intersection this area is. So it's more of, I've seen it this way, triggered this way before. Typically we see it the other way, but this is a valid reason for a traffic study. And when Brandon approached us a few months ago, we did put this on his radar that there's a potential that this may be necessary. They did try to go the route of requesting the waiver. So now at this point, it's kind of, how does the board want to address this now?
So my thought is that it doesn't need a full-blown traffic study, which is extensive, and you have to bid it out, and the whole bit. Is it
Well,
possible to just,
Not for us. That's
I know
for
that,
them, but yes.
we have to approve the engineer and so forth? And
No, we don't.
typically, no?
No.
Okay.
We don't approve the engineers. They choose their own engineers. Then we can do if the board feels a peer review is necessary based on the conclusions that come out of it and the information, if
Yeah, I get it.
internally we don't
Right,
feel,
right.
then that's when we would do
Right.
it.
But
This is typically would be done
our
by
history,
them. And if we're going to do it,
got to do it now.
we have to do it now
Because
because
it's
it's school.
Exactly, I'm just going to get it there.
Is that doable?
I mean,
And then I'll get to you in 1 second, David. Is that doable between now and the end of school?
I don't know.
School ends on the 21st, so I doubt it. Traffic studies are usually
I
more
mean,
than a couple of days.
So there are times where we do allow it outside of the school times. There's times where we've allowed it in December. For us, the big thing is not going to be, well, I don't want to say that actually. Yeah, at this point, I don't really know how else to answer other than the board is going to have to make a decision on whether or not they want to they want the applicant to provide the traffic study or if they're going to do the waiver.
Is the traffic study going to stop the project? Like, if the traffic study, is the traffic study going to tell us that no, you can't put that driveway there? Or is it just going to say it's going to create this issue? Because we already know the issue's there.
I
But the
can't.
traffic study's not going to tell us how to fix, because you're not going to move the driveway. You're only going to have X number of queues there. So it's not like the traffic study is going to tell us anything that we don't already know. Unless I'm missing something.
So
I agree.
I see where you're coming from. I do see that.
Yeah, I see it
But
too.
I can't answer that question
Without the traffic study.
without exactly. It's kind of the chicken and the egg kind of thing here.
Just hate to put the expense of a traffic study on these gentlemen that are trying to increase the housing stock for it to tell us that, yes, there's going to be a problem because you only can get 6 cars here and the 7th car is going to turn into the driveway and not be smart enough to say, hey, I can't turn in, let me go down and turn around and come back the other way.
But typically what those traffic studies provide is ways to, there's mitigation that they will give. In this scenario, I don't know what they would be. I'm not a traffic engineer, but
Yeah, there's not much wiggle room for, so even if the traffic does come back, I mean, there's not much, like David said, we can't move the driveway, so I don't know if it doesn't seem worth the effort there's no real resolution we can make out of it.
Pulling's got to handle.
Well,
We're still deliberating.
Is it possible to just get a very simple count? Like the engineer could go to the corner and for 5 days in a row, 5 weekdays, we're not talking about a weekend here typically, we're talking about weekdays, right?
Yeah,
Is the
weekdays,
potential
yes.
thought.
correct.
Go there for 5 days in a row and just from 6:30 in the morning to 9:30 or 8:30, the commuting time, and I'm pretty sure we're considering the commuting time in the morning, not the afternoon, right? We're thinking about the traffic coming south.
I
would
think you'd be
suggest
talking
both.
about-
Okay, either way, could do both, and just give us a count and how many times we had 4 cars, 5 cars, maybe you only had 3 cars, whatever. A modified, simplified approach to get at least a handle on how many times in a 5-day period we had more than 4 cars back up.
My one question with that
It's
is,
unofficially a traffic study.
yeah,
I
which
understand.
that's not my hang up there. My hang up is more of the train.
Train?
The train.
Yeah, but
We don't know. There's not like it happens every day or it happens, this specific time of day. I don't know how we take that into account. Or even can a traffic study even take that into
No.
account?
that's arbitrary. I mean, they come and go. We have no idea when they're coming and going.
Correct, but like the chief did say, the train causes a backup at this whole intersection. It does. I've been stuck there before, so
Yeah, we know.
yeah, so it happens. Now, how frequently does that happen? I don't know.
I don't know either, but I do know that they typically don't run the long freight trains during rush hours. They have commuter rail during that time, and those move quickly. So the trains that create backup are the longer freight trains, and those are typically either nighttime or midday, not during peak traffic. Does that make a difference in the calculation, the way we think about this? So,
can I?
Yeah,
can
go
I
ahead,
ask
Julie.
Chief, a question?
please do.
If I understood you correctly, I like the question of how many cars actually fit from the stop sign to the driveway. Like how many are we visualizing as we're all frequent drivers on this road? But I understood the problem to be, I understand why the backup, how am I supposed to say this, going south
Yep,
towards
coming
the
down.
stop sign will most likely be where it backs up first, right? Because that's where we're gonna hit the train or other things. But the concern is how many cars will be stopped.
Coming
Do I have to
up
go point to it?
Yep, coming
trying
up
to take a
Groton Harbor
left
Road
into the driveway.
and trying to do that
If they're
maneuver.
So
Stop
once,
there.
yeah, so the concern is once the queue heading south is full past
Yeah.
the driveway, and then we have a situation where somebody wants to turn in, then we're now, and then, so I guess the queue becomes important there too, because now you got how many cars are gonna fit in before,
Behind that car.
and, and that's where the traffic study would shed some light as to what is actually, there may be not an issue here.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I just want to make sure it's on the radar of this board that, there's the potential here. Now, I don't know what kind of mitigation, if an issue is found, I don't know what kind of mitigations are out there, but I know that there are multiple ways that these things can get mitigated. But we don't know if we have a problem. And that's the key to this. We don't know what we don't know. And if
So I'm going to ask Chief a question. I'm going to just be really blunt and lay my cards on the table. When the chief of police comes and is concerned about traffic, I'm loath to contradict the chief of police, simply. However, what I want to ask you, chief, is given that the mitigation options are pretty few and the expense of the traffic report, do you think that the level of concern over the possibility of the extension of the queue into the driveway rises to such a level that necessitates the traffic report? Do you understand you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I absolutely understand.
Yeah.
I have no way to answer that.
Okay.
And I'm not
So it
being,
is
I'm not being coy.
No, I know. I appreciate that.
It's my job is to bring issues to light.
Yep.
And for the board to deliberate and figure out the best path forward.
All right, so I'll just issue my opinion and let my colleagues issue theirs. It's unfortunate, but look, this is one of the most traffic intersections we have in town. It rose to the concerns about it rose to a level where we needed a four-way stop. So we know that's not a trivial sight, plus the trains. So yeah, I'm going to accept the chief's recommendation for a study. That's my opinion, not the board's. So.
And the way and it would need to be a majority of the board that would have to request.
That's right.
that. Because the waiver is the other option.
To waive it.
Yeah, so the board can do it one of two ways. You can choose. Someone can make a motion on the waiver now,
And just decline it.
and if it passes, it passes. If it doesn't, then they have their answer.
Okay.
So you think we've reached a point where we can make a motion on the waiver right now? We don't have to go, I was thinking we usually do that with decisions, but you want to do it now and get it out of the way.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they need the
Because they have to
information
decide
now.
on the traffic study.
Exactly.
Correct.
They need that answer now.
I'm going to make a motion that the project on the corner of Central Ave and Groton Harvard Road, the 20
Groton Harvard Road.
Groton Harvard Road, parcel ID map 25, parcel 23, does not need a traffic study.
Let me just help you this. So you have to vote in the. It's
Okay.
always in the affirmative. So it's a motion to. Are you
Not
gonna
require a
are-
traffic study.
Or
Are
to
you-
accept the waiver.
accept the waiver? Do it the waiver route. It's the easiest way.
Okay. What's the waiver section?
Pull that up because he has it in here. It does not have it.
There's no section.
It's right here. Yeah, it's right here. Hold on. So it's section 4E of the site plan regulations.
I'm going to make a motion that the project on 20 Groton Harvard Road not require a vehicle traffic study.
You vote to waive section 4E of
Okay,
the site plan regulations.
I'll get it right. I'll make a motion that the planning board vote to waive section 4.E, the vehicle traffic circulation and parking requirement under the air site plan regulations.
We need a second.
I can second it, but I don't even know what I'm seconding. So,
The waiver.
can we talk about it in the discussion part?
We just need a second to get to discussion.
Second.
Now we can get you a discussion.
Yes, so
Okay, your question is, and we'll pick it from there.
With the motion stated as it is,
Yep.
So we're
what
voting,
does a yes mean and what does a no mean?
you are waiving the traffic study.
Yes means we waive the study, they don't have to make the study. If we decline the waiver, then the study is required.
Correct.
No requires the study.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, when you make an emotion, it's
Yeah,
always in the,
I
it's in the
know.
affirmative.
I completely follow it, and yet I still need the
Yeah, no,
black
no,
and
no.
white.
Sometimes it can get confusing
Yes.
like this when it's a negative.
Do I have a sec? Do we
Now,
get a sec-
yep, we got a second.
Got
Now
a
it's
second?
discussion.
Now it's discussion.
So the reason for the waiver is that I think the reason I want to grant the waiver is because I think that the cost of the traffic study could be excessive in this particular case for us. This is a pretty small project. We understand the complications of the intersection, but I don't think we can dig deep enough to figure out what the correct answer is for this, going through a traffic study. I think we'll end up with a traffic study that's complete, but it may not help us make a decision on how far the queue goes back or whether it affects turning traffic on the streets. That's my thought.
I completely hear that, and I've seen enough traffic studies that I can't believe I understand exactly what you're saying now. I am still weighing how. So I guess I'm in agreement with what you're saying. I am conflicted because I still feel I want to
it's hard.
address. I don't think this necessarily means. I don't think I just want to approve 9 units. But there's no way to know. I guess I'm thinking. I'm sorry, I'm not thinking it clearly out loud. But
Mr. Chair, I'm going to
Yes,
step away
please.
from the table while you guys deliberate.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think looking at the totality of the situation, it's nine units. Yes, there will be an impact, but I don't know if the going through the whole traffic study will yield anything of really relevance for a solution. And I think they need the information, and I don't really want to see the project be held up for a traffic study that, again, I just don't know what we can change, even if we're found out that, there will be traffic, there will be a backup. I just don't see what the traffic study will ultimately change with the project.
And yet, I'm with you. That's where I'm at. And yet I feel the onus to the residents in this town that I am not as conflicted for the project, but I'm also conflicted that I know I believe the traffic study will not tell me what I need to know to do right by the residents for this intersection. That there still could potentially be a problem, and I think it's a valid discussion, but I don't know where that falls for us.
I don't think the traffic study at this time of year is going to tell you anything anyway, because by the time you get the engineers set up and get the traffic study going, the school is closed and you're into summer traffic, and traffic study now isn't going to tell you anything, and to hold the project up for another 5 months just so we can get an accurate traffic study, I don't think is fair to the applicant.
Can I get thank you, David. Can I get some clarification on that? Would it have to be delayed 5 months for the study?
Well,
would I have to be delayed to the beginning of the next school year? That's what, would that net, or could they, or do they have algorithms where they can adjust?
It's complicated because there are ITE standards,
Okay.
and within the ITE standards, the manual, there's times of years which they prefer traffic studies be done. We've seen them done before, like the GMG project was done in December of 2020 for COVID. It happens, but there's no requirement.
Oh, there's no requirement to be done when school's in session?
No, but it's typically preferred to get a full picture of the impact.
Yeah, it seems like if you want to do a good traffic study, you want to factor in when traffic is heaviest, when the school buses are out and the parents dropping their kids off. So if we're going to do a traffic study, we should do a traffic study. We shouldn't, go half in on that. But
Yeah,
Can
go
I
ahead,
ask
Julie.
one more question? I thought I saw you doing mental math, Ken, when we were looking at it.
It's a couple hundred feet.
Can we talk about how, I think we could do the math right here. Is that okay if we take 5 minutes? But to estimate how many car lengths that is, I think I heard Jonathan say 12 feet per car.
It's 71 plus 88, it's 150 plus 50 is 60. It's 230 to 40 feet.
Not that this makes me any smarter, but I think
No,
it's gonna be the
it's a good
same kind
question.
of conversation we'll have after a traffic study, so I would appreciate if we just had it before we vote on a waiver.
So if we were to just say at 150 feet and a 12,
It's what, the first student, isn't it a 71 I'm seeing?
yeah, it's 71, 88, and then this is a radius, so it's kind of harder
Yeah,
to
but it's
get.
50 or 60 feet.
Yeah, so it's
So
like
you got one, it's over 200 feet, so.
And you're measuring to the inner edge of the driveway?
You measure center.
So,
Yeah, might be 150, 175 feet.
so it's about
12 cars.
about 11 cars.
That's a lot of cars.
Well, it's cars, but then now you throw a school bus in there, that's two school buses and 3 cars.
Tractor trailer, concrete, the North Atlantic concrete, just north of there.
But then again, if there's only 9 apartments, how often is somebody coming east, turning north onto Groton Harvard that's going to turn left into that driveway?
That's what the traffic study would tell you.
I know. But
I don't know. I don't know. Because the way they do it is they would typically see, what are the main ways of, people work in, so, or, what are the main routes that they would normally take, and all of that gets taken into account.
Are those people going to come up Groton Harvard and take a right into the driveway as opposed to coming from and taking a left, or are they coming down Central?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the 11 or 12 car estimate, that was helpful.
boy, this is tough.
You gotta bring it to a vote.
I know we did. We ready to bring it to a vote? Do I need to I don't need public comment because it's not a site plan approval, right?
No.
Good.
We'll open up the comments.
So just remember that a yes is for a waiver means no study. No means no waiver. Okay. I just want to clarify that. All right, are we ready? Okay.
Mr. Chair, may I ask, before you take your vote, are you not taking public comments on this particular matter?
Correct.
We're in the middle of discussion and in the middle of their vote. Typically,
Is that you, Danny?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, they're in the middle of the vote of their motion and in their vote. So typically, comment is not allowed within within the motion.
So the chief has I'm just going to say this. Chief has recommended a traffic study. Members
I
of
don't
the
think he
board
did.
have asked.
Pauline, you don't have the floor.
And
Pauline.
you are not taking public comments on this. Is that correct?
We're mid-vote.
Did he say?
No, you're not mid-vote.
Yes,
You just started it.
pa-
You are not taking public comments. Am I correct?
They're in the middle of the vote. The motion has already been made. It already has been seconded, and they're in discussion. At this point, there's no time for. We
So
do
my
not
hand
vote.
has been up for about 5 or 10 minutes, and you've completely ignored me, and you're not taking public comment on a traffic study that the chief of police requested.
He didn't.
I just want a yes or no to that.
I'd bring him back up.
Go ahead.
Chief Fields,
Is that a yes?
you want to come back up for a second?
Hello, welcome back.
So, Ken, did you want?
Did you formally request a formal traffic study, or did you say we needed to look into this further? What was the,
My comment was, I believe that due to proximity of the driveway to the intersection of a four-way intersection, traffic study should be required for traffic pulling out of and pulling into the proposed site.
okay, thank you.
Required is not requested in your environment. Is that correct?
So these are department head comments. He's saying that it should be required. The planning board is the one who makes that decision in the end. There's plenty of times where I have made requests, and the board is the one who makes the final decision. They're in the middle of a vote of a waiver right now.
Ken, how do
Carry
you-
on, I guess. I don't know what else to say. But I do not agree with your decision
Okay.
or
We haven't made one yet.
position.
Thank you. Ken, how do you vote?
Yes, for the waiver.
Peter?
Aye.
No.
David? Julie?
No.
Chair votes no.
Okay.
So it's 3-2. The waiver's been declined.
So, at this stage, the applicant has their marching orders on the traffic study.
Now, there were other issues too that are open.
Just for one final comment. okay?
Please.
I thought it was very important what we did. We needed to bring it to a vote, and we needed to get a decision by the board.
Mhm.
So my intent was to get it one way or the other,
Yep.
but to get it done right now.
Yep.
So
Agreed.
I'm very happy that we did that as a planning board. Thank you.
And I want to share my thanks. Appreciate it.
Was there an issue about the photometrics too that to be discussed?
Let's just keep yes, there was the photometrics was they were requesting a waiver on that one. The DPW, so on the traffic one, DPW is considering future improvements at this intersection, although a formal plan has not yet been prepared. Matt or Dan, can you guys speak on that one?
Sure. So as part of that old traffic study that I mentioned that happened just before COVID, the consultant working for the town prepared a couple alternatives for that intersection. One of those alternatives was a stoplight. One of the alternatives was a roundabout, and the other was what's currently in place, which they called an interim improvement, which was the four-way stop. So we're currently, I guess, at an interim improvement stage, but we're still looking at possibility of improving this intersection further with a traffic light if that's warranted in the future, through a traffic study.
Yeah. Just to further that, it's Dan. Matt's right. The four-way stop is an interim improvement allowed by the MUTCD, so it's not technically a final improvement. So we have more work to do there. And Matt's right. We got to get back to the drawing board and look at what we do and which alternative is best, if a traffic light is warranted or not.
And when the DPW begins that whole process, obviously there will be public meetings. The neighbors in that area, the residents and all that will be notified about those public meetings and the potential of these plans as well.
Yeah, it would be a public process, and we'd go through that, and funding would also have to be sought. It'd be a pretty big process. It's on the capital plan a few years out at this point, and we're kind of looking at ways to fund it outside of the town, or outside of local funding, to try to leverage something outside of it.
So that addresses comment number 2. The next one was the existing shrubs along Groton Harvard Road frontage of this property significantly impact sight lines from southbound traffic. DPW requires removal of these shrubs. Further, no replacement plantings / trees shall be placed in the areas impacting sight lines for traffic. And that is, let me see if I can pull it up here. I think I'm sure the board knows the area that we're talking about, but let me just get it on the map.
Oh, everything's coming down.
It's specifically these trees that you see along the frontage. The statement is that these prevent sight lines.
I mean,
Is that contested?
The drawing shown being removed.
Yeah, they're already shown removed, right? So there's no contestation here.
Yeah, no, I guess just the comment said that it would be discussed during the meeting.
Okay.
That's the only reason I'm bringing it up.
Okay. But it looks like we already decided that's probably going to be
Because that did come up during the
walk.
During the sidewalk. Okay. The other ones, let me just make sure if there's anything else.
When you went through the photometrics a few minutes ago, there's no site lighting on the job, right? So we're just talking about the lighting that's on the building.
Yeah, they're requesting a waiver.
Right.
So the photometrics is not they're just requesting a waiver.
Yeah.
That and they had requested a waiver for the photometrics and for the traffic.
Yep, got it.
Yeah. The other, that was it. Yeah. The biggest thing was the traffic discussion. So,
Mr. Chair, just on the photometrics, could I hear?
Yeah, please, Chief.
There was no photometric even like listed other than a mailbox light. I just want to make sure that there are no parking lot lights that are going to be facing anything. These are your only planned lights going to be the ones that are like on the front doors? Or are you intending like parking lot lights?
No, and that's why we asked for the waivers, because we're not proposing any.
Okay, I didn't see any type of, other than the mailbox light. So I knew there was other lights out there, so
No, anything on the building would be downward facing and really just looking down at those, basically above the garage doors.
got it. That was the reason for my comment.
Okay.
Was I just wanted to make sure there was no parking lot lights that were going to interfere with that intersection.
And you're satisfied?
I am.
Good.
Yep.
Excellent. Excellent. Anything else on this evening?
So you want to just talk about the comment Ken had, and that you're in the revision you're gonna with the extra catch basin.
Yes, so when I talked to you and just trying to figure out when we're going to revise plans, so we've discussed it, and we can add a second catch basin and crown the entrance to the driveway there to basically be what Ken's asking or requesting.
Thank you.
That's
it?
all we had for open comments.
All right,
Not public.
I was just going to say, before we continue the meeting to the next meeting, I wanted to open up to public comment, starting with the room. Did you want to make any comments, or did you have questions?
I did have questions.
You did or didn't? I'm sorry.
I do.
Okay, well, just remember, just introduce yourself, your name and street address.
Hi, Maureen Bishara. I am the homeowner on the long
The
side
west
here.
side, is that?
Yeah, now that chain link fence, it's not chain link, it's wire.
Mhm.
It's a wire fence that we put up there,
Mhm.
and we are 1 foot in from our boundary line. So, when you guys were doing the sidewalk the other day, we came out on our back deck. Is there any way at all, any way that we can leave that group of trees at the very end so that I have some privacy? Because a 6-foot fence is gonna do jack.
When you say end, closer to Central Ave or up higher? Which end? Up at the corner?
Up closer to the corner of this property up here.
So,
And for Shara.
Yeah, you're talking about up
yeah,
there.
yes, up at that end. Because we have a deck, we have a swimming pool, we have a hot tub. We have a lot of gatherings. A 6-foot fence on that end is, you saw me, I came out on my deck and waved to you guys and spoke to you through we will have absolutely no privacy. And a 6-foot fence there isn't gonna cut it. And a lot of those trees are on our side, the big oaks and stuff.
You see this? That's what she's talking about. There's the deck.
Yes.
Right here.
Yeah, down at that,
Okay, so that's not the end of the site, I guess it is, right
Yeah.
there, yeah.
yes. So our house is like right in the middle of the property,
Right.
Mhm.
Wait a minute.
Is there any way that those end trees, so that our privacy is preserved?
That is beyond the property line.
Yeah. So she's talking about this area right here,
Right, yeah.
specifically this area.
So if I may, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
I believe this is what we've been talking about, and we talked
the
about
overhang,
the sidewalk. And we've already agreed in lieu of the fence, we're fine with doing more plantings. And that was another one of the
But that takes years for plantings to grow. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. In accordance with the bylaw, we basically have to provide it even specifies at the time of occupancy, it has to be a visual barrier. So the density, because we've already proposed it to the neighbor to the north, so we're actually planting that with evergreen trees that basically is denser than it'll need to be weeded out, because as these things fill out, they're basically going to outgrow themselves. So at the time of occupancy, like I said, we have to provide screening. Now, we initially were proposing that screening to be a fence, but we've already kind of agreed that we're willing to do plantings instead of a fence. That criteria still needs to be met.
But if the trees are on her property, I mean, we can't cut the trees down.
Some of those trees are on our property.
Some of them are. The pine trees in that area are the ones that they're probably a foot or 2 feet into our property.
And so
And that's what we discussed.
this is why when I brought up the when the line gets staked and when you're gonna go for erosion controls, having us out there to make sure, once we see where the line is, obviously at that point, where and when what you can and cannot cut. So that's gonna be an important stage, is when we get out there, staking the property line and then staking the erosion control and knowing exactly where that line is, because if the trees are on our property, as you're right, you cannot cut them. But if
I mean, I don't want to create a problem, but there are so many birds nesting in those trees. With, like I said, my husband is ill. We get up in the morning and we sit out there with coffee and we, enjoy nature. And there's so many birds and hummingbirds and all kinds of things that nest in those trees. And we need the privacy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and I really do understand where you're coming.
It's a 2-story, the apartments, it's 2 floors, yes?
Yes.
So, I mean, it's,
Yeah, and I understand where you're coming from, I do. But there's only so much within the bylaw that we can and cannot require. And that's where I'm trying to work with them to see what we can do.
I understand.
And so I think right now, obviously, anything that's on your property, they cannot cut.
Right.
So when it comes to pre-construction, when we have our pre-construction meeting, that'll be when we'll go out on site with them, inspect the line, and see, if at that point we can save anything, and by, then at that point maybe that'll work. But if there's nothing, if it can't be saved, then we don't kind of have the authority to kind of stop that. But where they do seem like they're willing to supplement
Yes.
as much as they can, and
Right, I
obviously, would you guys be more amenable to doing the 8 to 10 foot arborvitaes or something like that, as opposed to a 6 to 8 foot? I know it's a little bit more costly, but you have that already, extra 2 feet already in. It will provide her a little bit more screening.
Not a problem. We're here to make you happy. We don't
I
want
feel
to
bad. I feel bad. I'm
not
not trying to create a problem. I'm just trying to, we're going through so much right now.
I understand.
And we need as much privacy right now as we can get. And it's the only joy of our day is to sit out there.
Mm-hmm.
And to have it taken, it's going to be devastating. So,
When you, excuse me just a second, you stated pretty unequivocally that fence was 1 foot into
we
your
are,
property line. So
my
you had that-
husband, yes,
So you-
and we had surveyors come out, so I have the survey.
Okay,
As a matter of fact, it's on my back of my door.
okay.
So
It's gonna
we
be
did it because we
interesting.
had dogs and we didn't want the dogs roaming, so we just put wire fencing. But my husband, when he did it, said, I'm bringing this 1 foot into our property so that there's no,
So I think the understanding is that in addition to the 6-foot fence, that the applicant would consider, there are 2 things on the table. One, they're going to double check at the pre-construction meeting and double check to see what trees can be saved on their side of the property. That's number one. And then number two is that they said they would be willing to put 8 to 10 foot arborvitaes there. I think that sounds like a reasonable and fair resolution.
Yes.
Is that fair? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have any other questions or comments, Ms. Bashar?
I did see on the site plan, it said about the photometrics, that something about lights no taller than 15 feet, domed. Are those separate poles or are those on the building itself, no higher than 15 feet?
No, there's no,
That was a comment. That was one of my comments.
Oh, I thought I saw it on the,
No, there's no.
Plan.
There's no actual. There's no light poles on the site.
okay.
There will be lights on the actual, like, above the garages.
Right, and you said those will be
yeah,
Down.
downward.
pointed down.
And that's a requirement. Any lights that are on the property would have to be downward facing.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank
you
you.
for sharing.
I'd like to open up,
I'm sorry. I just got one thing. Like, because we are at that intersection, I know I should have said something earlier. Could you just put a sign in front of the driveway that says, "Don't block the driveway"? Like, simple, common sense, something.
There is no common sense in here.
Do you know what I mean?
It's not
Yeah,
a bad
we'll
idea,
see.
but not everybody reads and listens to the signs. But it can't hurt to try.
But I mean,
I don't know how to laugh
because my daughter lives on West Main Street, down near where they just put the traffic light is her driveway. Nobody is smart enough to not stop in front of her. She can't get in and out for anything. The kids, for work, for anything. Like, it's crazy. Just a sign. Don't block the driveway.
Thank you. I'd like to open up to Zoom, I believe.
Lorena V. I think that's Justin.
Yes, hi. Yeah, Justin. So you're on a work trip now.
Oh, sorry.
I just wanted to say a couple comments. You were talking about the retaining wall. You're absolutely right. That wall is in really tough shape. If it comes down, that's not a problem. There's one tree, I think you guys saw it during the site walk last week. There's one tree that the roots are already sort of breaking that wall down behind the garage, so I don't think you'll be able to see it. Yeah, if you talked about drafting something and sending it to us to review, that's perfectly fine. Wall's in rough shape, to be honest. I would prefer if it was gone anyway.
Okay.
And the other comment was about traffic. So I live right there, and I often see the traffic backing up from the train, and it has blocked my driveway before. You were talking about doing a traffic study or not. Please feel free to driveway and watch the traffic. It's pretty bad in the morning. It has blocked my driveway before, which is a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. It is worth during the freight train, because people don't know that they can turn right and then go all the way around. But it has backed up even towards after that paper road. It's backed up even there before. That was really all I wanted to comment. If you look on the street view, there's a little almost driveway. If you want to park right that site, that traffic study, yeah, right there. It's backed up to there before. Feel free to use our area to help with the traffic study. And the only other comment I had is I was very happy to hear that there has been no accident since the 4 stop signs. That's awesome, because I have seen terrible accidents from right here and heard them too. I will say there have been almost accidents, including when I was driving through that intersection. Just something to note. I'm glad it's better, but it's definitely not perfect. It can be a little scary. So I've seen people run those stop signs plenty of times.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Anyone else? We need a motion to continue, correct? Or is
So
it-
let's just figure out. So my suggestion would be at least continuing out a month, just to give the applicant enough time to get their, get a traffic engineer on board, get that up and running as quickly as they can. My suggestion would be to continue to the first meeting in July, which is July 14th. That would give them enough time to get a traffic study, at least something started, and an engineer on board. Because there's no reason to continue to the next meeting if that's not enough time.
That sounds fair. Okay. Yep. All right. Then I'll make a motion to continue the deliberations for the hearing for the site plan review and stormwater management permit for 20 Groton Harvard Road to our next planning board meeting on July 14th. No, not the next meeting, but the July 14th meeting, a month from now.
Seconded.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Ken?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. So we'll see you in July.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did we vote to close their family finals? Yeah. Oh, we did. Okay, great. So that brings us to the senior center.
Yes. All right. So, in terms of the senior center, for this one, the specific topic that needed to be addressed was traffic. The chief and Matt both have spoken with Katie, and they're both here. So what I would suggest is kind of having the chief give an update as to where he is on this, then having Matt, and then we can get to the decision.
Chief, if you don't mind. Okay. All right.
Our conversation, we're talking about the traffic intersection.
So we'll let you guys both introduce yourselves again,
Absolutely, Chief Brian Gill.
and then
Oh, Katie Petrossi, COA Director.
thank you.
And there, and Matt, we've been in discussion.
Yes, and Matt Hearn. Yep.
Yeah. So, so what we brought to the board was it was almost peripheral to this project. So to use the word concern is probably we'll just use that word for right now. But we wanted to make sure that the town was paying attention to those intersections. That as this, as the senior center comes online, we're going to have more traffic there, and we wanted to make sure that the intersections there were appropriate and they were, safe for the increased traffic that we had there. And I think, Matt, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think that's where we're at. Is we want to make sure that the town, as this develops and comes more online, that we're ready to, to improve the intersections within reason, making sure we have appropriate signage, that any type of brush is squared away, and that the intersection mitigations are there. Coming out to Park Street, that's our Route 2A. A lot of traffic in the mornings and in the afternoons and throughout the day, but our rush hour is pretty big there. In our intersection with McPherson Road and West Main Street, it's on a bend. We just want to make sure, especially that one, and it's not only a 4-way, it's like a 5-way intersection.
Right,
we have cars going all different ways down there. So we want to make sure that that we're appropriately looking at these intersections and making them as safe as possible with the resources that we have.
And I think the town is amenable to that as we're.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So that's it.
Thank you.
Matt, anything to add?
Nothing to add. You summed up my concerns precisely, Chief. Just these little signage and any sort of sightline improvements. Whether it be remove brush or whatever, and any little improvements that can be made within reason was really kind of what I was asking for. And it sounds like the chief as well. And I'm glad that it sounds like the committee's amenable to making those improvements within reason.
Okay, great. So how is this formalized in terms of the approval? Is it a condition? Is it already
so
written there? What is it?
So I I didn't have a condition written up because I wasn't exactly sure as to what, I know that they had spoken, and I wasn't sure exactly kind of how we wanted to handle it. So my suggestion would be to craft a special condition that just basically states, the applicant, the town, will review and address sightline and signage, traffic sightlines and traffic signage for Bishop Road prior to building occupancy.
Yeah,
Sound good?
We're the applicant, so that's where I was getting confused. So we're the applicant.
Yeah, the town is, I know, that's why it kind of gets a little confusing. Okay, so.
Can we actually include that now so we can?
Yep.
Oh, goody.
So you want to?
Yes. Is it just Bishop Road, or is it the Bishop Road and the McPherson West Main Street intersection?
It would be both.
Would be both.
It's not that road.
Is it McPherson McPherson is the... Is
It
the,
has
Maybe Dan or Matt shed some light on that intersection.
Do we need to, maybe this doesn't need to be discussed.
Yeah, I think it's just the...
The Bishop Park Street intersection.
The other one's not.
That's definitely us.
Okay, good. So it's just the one intersection that we're concerned about here, the Bishop Park Street, right?
Bishop Road.
Oh, it's hard to address it.
Dan, do you have any insight on the McPherson West Main intersection?
You're just looking for the name?
No, we don't have any for any type of intersection control over there. Is that us or Devin?
That's Devon's.
Oh, we would have to coordinate with Devon's. Yeah, it's weird. We do own the roadway there. They own, the north side and the south side of it, but we actually own the roadway. So definitely anything we did, we'd coordinate with them.
There's a lot of wetlands there too. I don't know if we can really do anything there. As you're coming up, traveling east on the right after the storage lot, all that in there is wetland. I'm not sure how much we could actually trim or maintain in that area, if I'm not mistaken. There's all kinds of...
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that wordage. I mean, we all know what what we're trying to do, and I think we're all on the same page to get there.
Okay.
And with wetlands, a lot of times that's exempt when it's a public safety issue and you're cutting back. But we'll have to just look at exactly what we're doing to make sure we're okay and coordinate with the proper entities. If we have to go to Concom, we do.
Correct.
Okay.
So what you did, that's what the stormwater?
Yeah.
Is that what you did, make sure they're parallel?
Yep.
Okay. So should we start with the site plan approval before the stormwater? And I believe the first thing is to read into record the findings.
Yep.
So thank you, Chief, thank you, Katie. So for the site plan approval for findings, just for 1 Main Street, the findings are, number 1, the site plan contains a design that has provided the foundation for the Air Planning Board to determine that the requirements, standards, and guidelines of the Town of Air site plan regulations, subsection 320-3.5.4 of the air zoning bylaws have been met in a satisfactory manner. 2, the Air Planning Board has determined that the applicant has demonstrated compliance with the standard for grading and clearing the proposed site set forth within subsection 320-9.6.2.d. 3, the project site consists of parcel ID number 25-23, which has been subdivided, creating Lot 1, 3.36 acres through the A&R process. The A&R plan was endorsed by the, is that the correct word, or endorsed by the Planning Board at their March 24, 2026 meeting. And finally, number 4, the property is located within the general residence zoning district. The property, Lot 1, is currently a wooded lot. The proposed project is to construct a 13,000 square foot senior center with an associated parking lot, utilities, and amenities. Just one waiver request, which I'll read into the record with its justification. The waiver request is for section 9.1.5.c1. Except in an industrial district or the healthcare services district, off-street parking spaces shall be located behind or beside the principal structure on the lot. No parking shall be located closer to the front lot line than the front line of the principal building except by special permit from the Planning Board. In granting a special permit, the Planning Board may impose design, surface treatment, landscaping, lighting, and other requirements to mitigate the visual impact of parking areas on views from the road, and may regulate the location of the remaining parking lot to achieve the purposes of this subsection 320-9.1. In no event shall the Planning Board grant a special permit to locate more than 15% of the required off-street parking spaces in front of a principal building, with the exception of the form-based code district. The justification for the request is as follows. The new senior center is not designed to serve the general public. It is designed to serve the specific needs of older adults. The proportion of disabled, handicapped, and able-bodied users is not the same as in the general public. Complying with existing zoning would create a safety hazard for older adults. Requiring 85% of the parking to be in the rear of the building requires older adults, up to 40% of whom have mobility-related disabilities per the CDC, to walk long distances and navigate around the building, which is particularly challenging in inclement weather. Placing the parking in the front minimizes the distance to the primary entrance, significantly reducing the risk of falls, and allows the older adult-specific safety features of the parking lot to function as designed. The parking lot designed in front of the building is based on one-way traffic through the parking lot to reduce accidents. Rear-based parking could necessitate two-way traffic around the building and through the narrow sides of the lot. Two-way traffic is discouraged in senior center designs due to safety. Preliminary meetings at the Air Fire Department and Police Department yielded approval of the traffic pattern in the front-facing parking lot. Complying with zoning creates a greater risk of harm for the older adult population. Any discussion on this waiver request? Can I have a motion?
Can I make the motion even though I'm not eligible to vote?
No, you are eligible. You're both.
Okay, all right.
Oh, wait.
I thought, no.
I'll make the motion.
I got all confused.
I make a motion to accept the senior center's request for a waiver of section 915C1.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Ken?
Yes, on the waiver.
Pete?
Nope.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I got confused too. Don't worry.
Are you awake?
Julie?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. The waiver is approved.
Huh?
What's up?
She said she got it.
So if you would do me a favor,
Yes.
if you'd bring up the special conditions on the, in fact, I'm going to ask you to read them for me because you have them on the screen. So I just want to say, I'm going to make a motion for approval of the site plan pursuant to subsection 320-35, site plan review of air zoning bylaws, subject to the standard conditions 1 through 35 and special conditions numbered 1 through 4 as follows.
Which one are you? 1 through 3 on the site plan. On the site plan, it's 1 through 3.
I'm sorry, I modify that, please. It's standard conditions 1 through 35 or 35?
No, so you had the right. It's the special condition.
I know, and then the special conditions just numbered 1 to 3.
Yep,
Okay.
that's right.
And if you would read them for us, sir?
Yes, so special conditions is the applicant shall submit a photometrics plan that complies with the Town of Air site plan review regulations prior to pre-construction meeting. The permit shall be conditioned on receiving approval from MIPA and MISA. Any major modifications that may come from the process shall require planning board approval. The applicant shall work with the DPW and the police department to address traffic sight lines and traffic signage for Bishop Road, Park Street prior to the issuance of the occupancy.
Great. So we have the motion.
Yes.
We have the second. Do we have the second?
Yes.
Second.
Any further
Wait.
Wait,
I
was it, was
seconded
it,
Yeah, Julie.
Julie seconded it?
But I just didn't.
I didn't understand, sorry.
Okay. Thank you. I willingly seconded.
Okay, any further discussion? Ken?
Yes, on site plan approval.
Julie?
Yes.
And the chair votes aye on site plan approval for the senior center. Excellent. Now we have the major stormwater permit.
Yes.
Is that as opposed to minor stormwater?
And the findings, so this is the major stormwater management permit for 1 Main Street, the senior center.
On Main Street.
Is that what it says
Zero
here?
Bishop.
It's for Zoom.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zero
The
Bishop Road. I'm
applicant
sorry,
is-
I apologize. It's Zero, I misread it. Address of the project is Zero Bishop Road, the senior center. My apologies, everyone. The findings, should I just read them? Because what's confusing to everybody is the first 4 are simply why we have a stormwater management permit in the first place.
If
They're
you
not
want to
germane
read
to
it, you
this.
don't have to.
So I'm going to skip those 4. They're all what we have in every stormwater management permit. The 2 findings that are germane to this
Are the same ones we already read before.
yes, it's the project site consists of parcel ID 2523, which has been subdivided, creating lot 1, 3.36 acres through the A&R process, which was endorsed by the planning board at our March 24th, 2026 meeting. And finally, the property is located within the general residence zoning district. Property lot is currently a wooded lot. The proposed project to construct a 13,000 square foot senior center with an associated parking lot, utilities, and amenities.
The waiver request
Now-
is all set.
The waiver request is, we only had to vote on that once. We don't have to do that again, that's set. And I believe, so that means I can move into the motion.
I can read the special condition. 'cause
And
this
you'll
one
read
has
4 of
one-
them.
Yeah, this one has one additional one that's not on the site.
Okay, so I'm going to make the motion, and then I'm going to turn it over to Danny to read the special condition.
Once it's seconded.
So first, let me make the motion, and then when we have, after the second, we can read them. So I make a motion for approval of the site plan, I'm sorry, for the major stormwater, we got to,
Thank you.
dude, okay, so motion for the approval of the major stormwater management, is that a permit? Is that the right word? Pursuant to, is that correct?
Yep.
Subsection 245-5 and 6, stormwater management and air general bylaws, subject to standard conditions 1 through 35 and special conditions numbered 1 through 4 to be read in the record by the town planner. Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Now you can read it, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. And so the additional one that we have on this one is the certificate of completion shall be recorded at the Middlesex South Registry of Deeds by the owner, and a copy of the recorded decision shall be submitted electronically to the planning department.
Hold on a second. So, certificate of completion?
Yep. There's a certificate of completion that's required,
Required
at
under the
end.
stormwater.
Yes.
What a decision. So,
The certificate of completion basically gets recorded.
yeah, but it doesn't, it says the recorded decision. It didn't say the recorded. And actually, if you go back to the site plan, was the note in there to record this? It's in the general
It's in the
conditions.
general conditions.
General conditions, right?
And we did read the other 2, the photometric and the approval of MIPA and MISA we already read? Those 2? Okay, good.
We read them in the site plan.
Okay, great. Any further deliberation? Hearing none, Ken?
Aye, on major stormwater management permit.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. The major stormwater management permit is approved for the senior center.
Public hearing.
And now we need a motion to close. I make a motion to close the public hearing for 0 Bishop Road Senior Center.
Second.
Any further discussion? Can everyone vote on this, or just the 3 of us? Ken?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. It is closed. Congratulations to the senior center and everyone who worked so hard on it so far. And I know there's much more hard work, but this is a significant milestone. So congratulations on this. I know a lot went into this. Thank you. Project status update, sir.
Yes. 1 second. All right, project status update on Lincoln Hill. So this is the update that I received from Janet Field. The foundations have been started for the first 2 homes. Framing for 3 Adam Lane is scheduled for next week, and 2 Adam Lane. Paving of road still on schedule for 6/22. Water, sewer, and stormwater utility work within the development is completed. The retention pond will have the new media installed once the roadway is paved and the stormwater system is operational. Underground utility work on High Street is complete with the exception of National Grid. We'll be installing a new pole on the corner of Windsor and High Street. And underground service will go from there to the development. Water tap was done on Groton Harvard Road. Next are sewer and stormwater. The stormwater improvements designed by Matt at the TOA TOA? I think it must be VOA. Are now approved and will be the final step in the stormwater control installation for the project. Final loam and seed of the utility easement down Groton Harvard Road will take place prior to 6/22.
Great.
The site project to build a parking lot appears to be complete.
It's been done for
Right, but wait,
a couple weeks.
did we have a final walkthrough on that, or you did a final walkthrough and approved it, or
We have
an
not yet.
as-built plan, or?
We haven't received the as-built plan yet. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah. Once we get the final as-built plans, then we'll do our final
Walkthrough.
As of now, they still have to do their. They haven't done. I don't think all of the.
Looks done.
They might have everything completed. I'll double check with them, but we still need the as-built plan.
Okay.
Sorry, would that have to wait for the plantings to take before you can sign off on that?
No, we would sign off on that if I'm sure with their nursery, the nursery covers it for 2 years when they're installed. Yeah, in the order of conditions, if there was one, there would, because that has to do with the wetlands and stuff. Under ours, we don't have that. But nurseries usually cover it for 2 years. So that's where we are with Lincoln Hill.
It looks like the Groton Harvard Road work, more of it has been done just in the last couple of days. So they put in
Yeah, I
either
noticed that
drainage
too.
or sewer, the last water, one of them
They're moving along very
in
fast.
the last few days.
Very, very fast.
Is Matt still up there?
Yes.
This has to do, it's related to Lincoln Hill, but it's not exactly Lincoln Hill. This is the work within the Groton Harvard Road, where they were gonna work with DPW
culvert.
to improve some existing piping. And then the DPW was working with Mr. is it Flynn?
Yeah, Mr. Flynn.
Anything further on that?
Matt, is there anything you can speak on that one?
Yes. So the plan to improve the drain piping in the street, that will be happening along with the water and sewer work for the Lincoln Hills project. And the work on private property, I have met with the property owners. They are amenable, just to some minor improvements into that drainage easement. So I'm handling that part of it independently from the Lincoln Hills project. So that will be happening at a later date.
Thank you.
Can I ask Matt a question while
Yes.
he's here? Matt, are you still there?
Oh, this is pump.
Yes.
Yep.
I have a couple questions about the right way sewer pump.
Sure.
Do you have an update on? It's been a lonely site.
It has. It's been one of the more frustrating projects
I
that
can
I've
imagine.
been a part of. I do have an update. The startup and testing of that pump station. We have a date. It's not 100% set, but it's tentative for starting up that station end of next week.
The testing starts end of next week, or you might be setting it actually up the end of next week. I guess I don't know what testing is. I'm sorry.
We're still setting up the actual date for this work,
Okay.
for the startup and testing of it. But right now it looks like it might happen end of next week. And really, once that part of the work's done, then everything that's been disturbed on that property can get restored, and we can actually get the project closed out.
I think our biggest concern is still the generators. They're just very loud. So if that starts the end of next week, that might mean that generators could be stopped.
Not necessarily. So when the pump station, once we actually have that up and running, we're gonna let that run for a week just to make sure everything's actually working.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, we're gonna do that before we make the decision to disassemble all the temporary generators and pumps.
And the question I was asking last time is, do you know why it beeps? Like, I'm sorry, it's very loud and it's at different times of the night, like in the middle of the night, and there seems to be no reason. Is it the generator that is beeping, or?
Yeah, probably.
Is it to alert you of something, or is it?
That I'm not 100% sure of. I haven't heard it, but I will. I don't think it's any sort of alarm.
Okay, it's just very loud in the middle of the night. So if that's anything that could, I know it's the end supposedly, but we thought that before. So if you could just pass that along, Matt, I would appreciate it. That the beeping is something else. Thank you.
Any other project updates, Danny?
So right now, not much of a project status update on Stratton Hill. I know Heather's going to be going out there next week.
No, tomorrow or Thursday.
Tomorrow or Thursday because of the update with the turtle nesting habitat stuff. There's internal talking over there about some possible redesign, but if they come to us, we'll deal with that then. But as of right now, it's kind of just they're looking at it, and it just has to do with driveways. The other thing is I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Groton Road by the transfer station.
The transfer station. Oh, that one. They're currently just still working. I mean, they're still working on the inside. What was her name? Tina retired. So like things kind of slowed down a bit. But Lim Hutt, I spoke with him. He stated that the northern portion of the driveway, the one that's kind of blocked off right now, they're anticipating paving soon with this weather, now that they can get that done. So the anticipation is to get that done, as well as the bioretention area. That's it. That's the next. Those are the next two things that need to be done. But they've been working a lot on the internal stuff. Same with Nasoya. It's all internal right now. There's not really much going on outside. There is some stuff that they still need to do the force main, which I believe is being worked on through the DPW. There's I think an MOA being worked out with that on that. There's still quite a bit of stuff that they need to do for that. And 42 Park Street, I did reach out again for an update. I haven't heard back, but trying to hear when that's going to get finalized. There are some potential projects that are going to be coming down the road. Old Town Village, I anticipate most likely will be coming in the next month or so with a proposal for a new building. There's a potential for 44 Park Street coming in with another site plan. That is the old red building, the laundromat. That's an antique store. There's potential I'm hoping within the next couple of months for 190 West Main Street as well. So 50 Jackson Street, 64 Littleton Road, Those two have their decisions are all set. Those are going to be sent out to the applicants so that they can get those two started, as well as the senior center, not the senior center. Yes, the senior center's Pond Street.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
So there was a little bit of a snafu. Site work commenced without the decision being recorded or pre-construction meeting. We have a meeting tomorrow to kind of get this.
Where?
Pond Street. 18 Pond Street, where the senior housing is.
Oh, okay.
So there was
State
a
project, but it came here.
yeah. So there was a little bit of a snafu.
Okay.
We have a meeting tomorrow to kind of get it all in order. And you know, the big thing for us was to not hinder the senior center any more than it already has been. So it's not a complete shutdown. We're going to work with them to try to get this up and running as quickly as they can, so that there's no hold up on the senior center. I don't really want to hold them up, and that's the only reason.
Okay, good.
Other than that, that's kind of it right now.
Okay, good.
Is there any other projects the board wants looking into?
The Aho thing, he's got the two houses up down there.
Pine Street?
Pine Street, so
Yeah.
he's done pretty much.
He's almost done. Yeah, there's some additional work that they still need to do. They've done all of the utility work on 3rd Street and all that stuff. That's all been completed. But yeah, there's not a lot. There's not that much left to do. I haven't had they haven't had me out there for any inspections, and I haven't heard anything about a final as-built yet. So where that is, I'm not sure.
Okay.
In terms of the final as-built.
I just have one final thing, sorry. So it was interesting that the chief had a condition for the parking lot on Park Street.
Yes.
But when I saw that, it dawned on me, is that elsewhere in our general conditions? I mean, we all know that they get details for every construction job. When we have a construction job that has to work in the street, they have to get a detail. So should we have it in our general conditions and just get it over with? Maybe you can.
That's actually a good idea. Like
think
a traffic.
about how you put that in the general conditions.
Yeah, and
why not get it over with?
The chief did say that, in his email to me, he did state, he's like, I don't know if this is, self-implied or this is automatic, but it makes sense because, we've had our run-ins so far with, projects needing needing traffic management. I think you're right. I think I'll review our conditions, and I think going forward, if it's not in there, specifically called out, make sure that it is specifically called out.
Right, then it's done.
Then it's done, exactly.
Okay.
Because we did, on 63 Main Street, we also required a traffic management plan on that one. And so, yes, I think going forward, a traffic management plan should be required as a condition in the sense of if traffic is going to be impeded, and I think we write it in a way that it leaves it open to keep it general enough that not because not every project is going to need it.
Good. Ken and Julie, did you have a chance to look at the May 5th meeting minutes?
I did.
Okay.
There was the comment that Jonathan had.
Yes.
We did get that fixed.
Okay.
The comment was in regards to.
I'll read it to the record. So the original, on page 3, originally it said, Mr. Ruiz stated the board cannot condition the project for the condition and possible failure as it is outside the scope of the project. So that's been corrected to read, Mr. Ruiz said the board could place a condition on the project for possible failure as it is outside of the scope of the project. So that's been corrected.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the May 5th, 2026 Air Planning Board meeting minutes.
Seconded.
Any further discussion? Ken, how do you vote?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
And chair votes aye, it is approved. The reason the other two members didn't vote because they weren't members yet when this meeting occurred.
Correct.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Can I just ask a quick
Yes,
question? I'm really,
please.
it's a fast one. The next meeting, I have a personal conflict that might be coming up. Do we either have a big agenda or does anyone else have personal conflicts? Just
So as of right now, we don't have anything on the agenda.
Okay.
And that's just as of right now. Now, if something comes in before, so typically I don't allow anything past the Tuesday before the meeting. Legally, I have to accept an A&R up to 48 hours prior to the posting of the agenda.
Okay.
Or the prior to the meeting. So, if I get an A&R before then yes, I can let you know about that. But as of right now, we don't have anything, so it might be either a cancellation, or if the board has something they want to start, talk about, master plan, something like that. I don't know, whatever. You don't, at this point, we can kind of, we're at this summer.
Yeah.
It's summer.
Get your sweater
And I
on.
think it would
Grab your
be
beach
also
balls.
good if
Get your
anyone
towels.
knows that they're not going to be here for a summer meeting, it would be good if you can let me know ahead of time, just so that we can let any applicants know as well. I know summer people are traveling, vacation. It's that time of the year, so just a heads up. Anything between now and the end of August would be helpful.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
Second. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very